Thank you, Kitty. Hi, I'm Isabel, and I'm going to tell you about jobs in Georgia. Women cared for children, cleaned homes, cooked, and made clothes. On farms, they plowed, planted, and picked crops. Some women became traders or operated a business. A few men traded with the Indians. They also did in tailoring. Men taught their skills to boys who started their own businesses after years of training. Plantation owners were in charge of slaves on their fields and crops. Cobbler made shoes and repaired old shoes. Blacksmith made horseshoes, tools, nails, and other important things made out of metal. Printer printed newspapers and books. Bricklayers built brick houses. There were also shipbuilders and fishers too. Now here's Jackson with government.
Great. Okay, bud.
Hi, I'm Jackson, and I'm going to tell you about Georgia's government. When Georgia began, only rich men who had started the colony ran the government. They passed laws that they thought were best for the colony. In 1752, these men turned control of the colony over to the British king. The king allowed white men to elect an assembly. However, the king could stop any law the assembly passed. You had the rights of an Englishman unless you were Catholic. Representatives from 12 colonies attended the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia to discuss a course of action. Georgia was busy defending against the Native Americans and was the only colony that did not attend the meeting. Eventually, Georgia held its own provincial congress in 1755. The majority voted to remain loyal to Britain. Georgia held its second provincial congress. Created a state government. It also elected 3 representatives to the Continental Congress. Settlers could have their land on rent for free for 10 years, but they could have no part in the government. Now here's Isabel with Children's Life.
Thank you, Jackson. Hi, I'm going to tell you about children's life. Children play tag, hopscotch, outdoor games, and their playmates were their siblings. There were no schools. Boys might be taught at home. Girls were not taught to read or write. They learned to sew, cook, and clean. Children had many chores. Boys herded cows, chopped wood, and hunted. Girls milked cows, made butter, picked vegetables, and looked after chickens. From 1749, Georgia was slave-owning. Black and white children might play together as babies. Later, they lived separate lives. Slave children could not be sold. Children followed closely in their parents' footsteps, learning from them and eventually becoming like them. Children could chew on tobacco if they wanted to. Now here's Carter with games.
Thanks, Isabel. Now for games in the 1700s. Games in the 1700s were different than they are today. Children's games included whirligig, hoop and spear, and dolls. The girls loved the dolls they made out of dried corn husks. Hoop and spear were for the men and boys to prove their... Girls loved the dolls they made out of dried corn husks. Hoop and spear were for the men and boys to practice spearing. And whirligig was just for fun. That's about history.
Hi, I'm Kitty, and I'm going to tell you about the geography and climate of Georgia. Georgia is one of the southern colonies. It's bordered by South Carolina, Florida, and the Atlantic Ocean. Georgia's geography includes the Appalachian Mountains, the Savannah River, and Lake Lake. As for Georgia's climate, it was great for farming. The winters were mild and the summers were hot. In the southern part of Georgia, there was swampland that was good for growing rice and a plant called indigo. The ocean could be easily accessed from certain areas. Farming was the most important and common job in Georgia, and the climate and geography made it easy. In addition to rice and indigo, farmers also grew other plants like cotton and tobacco. In the northern parts, there were forests that were cut down to make homes. That's it for climate and geography, and
Now I'm Carter and I'll be telling you about Georgia's history. Georgia was founded in 1732 when James Oglethorpe was given a charter from George II to create a new colony named Georgia. Georgia was founded in the town Ebenezer. It was established as a refuge from Oglethorpe's colony. Ebenezer was formed for a military base to protect Savannah from Spain. James Oglethorpe was the founder of Georgia, but Georgia was actually named after King George II. A historic event that happened in Georgia before it became a state was Spain actually established it, but the British pushed them out and called it Georgia after King George II.
and that is about history.